Good evening and welcome to Tales of Myth and Mayhem. I am Mark. I am your narrator for this evening. We are playing Marvel Multiverse RPG. Almost forgot there. It's the third episode of our actual play. We all fall down. I'm going to introduce everyone in a wee second, but we're going to start doing. After that, we'll start a recap from the point of view of one of the characters, which will be cool. So we will start then with Michelle, since no one can see you. Say hello. Supposedly. And if you don't hear her, then let me know, because we've had this problem before. Michelle, talk. I don't think you can be heard.
I can hear.
Can't hear Michelle. Listen, did I knew it.
Oh, no.
I fucking knew it. Was it my fault? Did he blame me? It's you with your no camera. That's what does it to me. Raise me up, right? Talk now.
It's the same.
Still no. Ah, there we go. Now it's working.
Okay. Hi, Michelle. I'm playing Sarah Bacon, and I'm not saying all that shit I just said again. So you're just gonna have to live without. And it was amazing. I think
she was trying to do the brown.
It was profound. It was like you missed like the truth of the universe. So like you're lost. Yeah.
I solved war, bitches, but now you'll never know.
Ben, Cat, how you doing?
Oh, me. That's me.
Yes, hello.
Hello. Yeah. And me. I'm playing Chris. Yeah. What do I say? I say nothing. I'm all
This is already just off to flying start.
This is
Very
part of
much
the course.
It's one of those days for all of us, I think.
And Cat. Cat, no, the wrong person. See, I'm not even getting this right. And no, 42 wasn't done. Michelle doesn't have the power of 42. I have that because it's my age. Levita. Sorry.
Later
Yes,
on,
it's
will be
you.
my age
No.
too. Yeah, it's fine. Hi,
No, sure.
I'm playing Lauren, and that's it at the moment.
Well, thank you all. You're all making this really great. And me, I'm playing them.
Yeah, that's who I'm playing.
Yeah. And last but certainly not least, Calder.
Yep, I am indeed Calder, and I am playing Silas Crawford, who's really questioning the trajectory of his life leading up to this point. So he's having a time.
There's just only good things coming in the future. So,
Oh sure,
of course.
as always.
Then, Silas, if you would like to start with a recap for us.
All right. Less than 48 hours, and someone has been busy. Widely funded and internationally supported, Orchis has rapidly laid down the foundations of a new world order, and one without a single mutant left on Earth. The island colony Krakoa lies near desolate, the massacre at the Hellfire Gala still an active crime scene. Scott Summers, Cyclops, the Boy Scout of all people, has been arrested and charged for the human casualties at the event. World leaders have been bought and blackmailed, more so than they usually are. Anyway, shocker. Commanders and sentinels alike are roaming cities the world over to round up mutants and shuffle them to containment facility or off this mortal coil entirely. Not even Captain Britain, Betsy Braddock herself, seems safe from the swing vote. Meanwhile, here on ground level, it all started with a single telepathic command from Charles Xavier that poured across the globe like a wave, puppeteering mutants beyond counting through portals to destinations unknown. Some escape by hook or crook, or in this case of our lot, another voice in everyone's head. Down through the subways of London, up into the flight of Sarah, out in the backroads and for Sarah the sky, hounded by sentinel, vigilantes, and witch-hunting witches, they found themselves in a lorry heading north from Lutton, a trek brought to a surreal halt by roadside trees suddenly curling inward onto the road, holding the truck in place and allowing for just a quick view of a figure right ahead, face hidden under a hooded cloak. Nothing for it. Into the woods. It's time to go.
Superb. Thank you very much, mate.
I wish that sounded more fluid off the tongue. But
That's all right. First time doing it, so next time, be easier. Then time after that as well.
At least you have shoes on now.
yeah. And he's not sure whether he's I mean he's happy that his feet are no longer freezing, but just
not
castaway
very
shoes.
But sneakers are not his type of.
Still isn't feeling any guilt about the lorry driver, it would seem, who has now just had his the front of his lorry crushed by trees and branches.
Somehow not the weirdest thing that's happened to him.
Yeah, no. So Silas, you're sitting in the front with the driver who is petrified,
Mm-hmm.
and as the car.
I mean, is he more petrified? I'm gonna like mind read like just surface level. Is he more petrified of the trees or of me?
It is a 50-50 at the moment.
That's fair. That's reasonable.
He
Losing your touch, Silas.
What? Oh yeah, I know that's true. Yeah, but
You
also
wait till he's rested.
has told me that there will be hell to pay if I frighten this man any further. And Silas is a very squishy, noodly boy, and he's not going to push the issue.
So, standing in front of you, in front of the front of the lorry, it's a man in a hood, arms spread out, branches of trees invading the road, crushing into the metal of the. I keep wanting to say cockpit, but it's not. The cab of the lorry. The man beside you whimpers.
I'm gonna lean out, lean out the window, and kind of like wave my arms at the figure, like, okay, and enough. Like the car has stopped. Like, can we stop it with the crunching, with the stop? The brake has been pulled. Like trying to basically, yeah.
He looks at you. Quickly now, get your friends and follow me.
Okay.
Is that the voice we recognize?
We don't hear them yet. We're probably in a heap at the back of the car, the lorry. Sorry.
Yes, I'm gonna just send Sarah like a telepathic message saying kind of like, that's our stop, open, and I don't know.
What do you mean that's our stop?
It is a stop. I'm not sure if it's our stop, but this is it. That's all he said, like telepathically says before he's like leaving the.
All right, I tell everyone. All right, everyone, get out.
He will.
Silas says this is our stop.
He will kind of put a few pound notes into the driver's like pocket and be like kind of like, okay, I'm sorry. Truth is, couldn't blow up your head if I wanted to. Have a good night. And then just starts back out again.
You feel a wave of relief come off him, and then incredulity. Luke's kind of mouth hanging open, and he hears the creak of the metal bending at the chassis.
I think he also like a comment like, I hope you got like workplace insurance for this. If not, very sorry. And then just starts off.
You get out, Silas. The man with the in the robes starts to make gestures with his hands, and you see the branches pull away from the car and into the sides. And he walks off to the side of the road, which is kind of foresty, but like a big what you call it, hedge, but thicker branches. You know, not just like a nicely trimmed hedge, like thicker branches forming a kind of barrier to get through. As the rest of you pile out of the back, you see another two of these people wearing the brown robes, hoods over their heads, and they gesture to you towards the front of the lorry.
As we're getting out, I'm just saying to Chris, don't worry, my arm did that before you fell on it. It's fine.
I say to one of the people in robes, "Cult? You a cult? This is a cult thing."
Quickly,
Okay.
there's sentinels coming.
God, not again.
Fair.
All right, so
fair.
that's not
Yeah.
a no.
I'll.
Maybe we should just go and we can figure out whether their
Yeah,
culty
I
thing
mean,
is a
it's obviously
problem.
gonna go. The Sentinel's worse, but still, cult. This could be a cult
You can
thing. Just
hear
saying.
Okay,
above
okay.
you the roar of the sentinels' jets.
I mean, like,
I
either we
move
get
very
Sentinels or like
quickly.
Midsommar, but like, if we can deal with the cult later.
I move where they say to go. I'm moving quickly.
You get to where Silas is, and the man that was at the front makes another gesture with his hands, his fingers bending, and a gateway opens up in the hedge into a brightly lit corridor. Looks like it's heading down the way. Dirt-lined walls, roots peeking out into the into the way. The stairs look well trodden, although can't really be that often that people come this way. You would think. But he ushers
They
you all
want
in.
us to jump through this.
This looks just like the thing from last night that the old man opened up.
Similar to, yes.
Oh, I'm finally gonna meet faceless voice man.
I
mean, it'd be a help to know who it
female
is.
Voice? I forget.
All right, let's go. I walk
Oh.
through.
Yep, me
Want me
too.
to find out?
You can smell it's like musty dirt. You know what it says, like someone's dug up a garden or something. It's been raining and this moist smell of dirt. You can see as you walk further down, the light seemingly coming from nowhere. You can see small insects and worms crawl in and out of the walls.
Yeah. Sorry, this is like this is just getting worse and worse with every passing minute.
You walk and walk. When you try to speak to them, they make shushing noises and point above you. And you go down what must be about maybe 30-40 meters before heading along what seems like a straight way. I can't even say what it seems like. Fucking sure. After about half an hour, 45 minutes, you come to a kind of clearing where that clearing is wrong. Fuck, man, I can't think of words. Words are hard. So kind of open way. The ceiling's fairly high now, and there's another person. The brown robe is waiting on you. This one doesn't have her hood up. She looks fairly young, blonde, pair of glasses, lots of freckles. He says,
I say to her, "All right, are you in a cult? Do we need me to rescue you? Is this what this situation is?"
She laughs. No, I think we're the ones helping you at the moment.
That's what all the cults say. They all say they're gonna help, and
She
they
laughs. And the other ones behind you. No, we are not a cult. We are friends of one of you. His name is Richter.
Do I recognize that name?
Richter, you would know, yes, definitely.
Hmm.
We are druids. We are protectors of this island of ours, no matter what those bastards above are doing. We will help you. Things are rough at the moment for your kind. We have set aside some space. You can relax for a couple of days. And if we can
Thank
help you
God.
get to where you're going, we will get you there.
All right, bit of luck. All right, this is pretty great. This is what we could have done with. Thank you.
You're more than welcome.
How did you find us on? I mean, were you watching from the forest? Is it like a magic thing? I'm not sure.
We got a message.
Ah,
Was that the same message a lot of us got?
I have no idea which message you've received.
oh,
We've
just a
been
never
message.
fighting
mind.
against Covenakaba for much longer than this.
Hmm.
And since they are siding with these Orchis people with these giant metal instruments of destruction, it's a fair bet that you're on the right side of history.
Can someone just like break this down? Because it's been a bit of a rush, and the last few hours have been spent bouncing around in the back of a car, which it turns out a lorry is not the best place to sleep. And I'm a bit out of it. What is actually going on here?
I suggest, first of all, we have rooms prepared. You all get a good night's rest, and we can speak in the morning.
Yeah, these
That would
druids,
be amazing.
and they'd be going into bed and food and stuff.
Please.
As long as the beds are not like a giant like wicker effigy, that's fine.
Look, we can silver chair
Sure.
this tomorrow.
I think that might be yours, Mr. Crawford.
Fair.
Silas, I will have to do a conversation about respecting people's religious beliefs.
She raises her
Says the
eyebrow,
person who's been complaining about druids since
Sarah.
we met these people.
No, because he was probably being really disrespectful with all that Wicca shit.
Honestly, like that was both out of character and in character a joke. Like it wasn't like he wasn't saying kind of like, oh, like you were the one who was like calling them a cult the entire time. He makes
yes.
one wicker man
Up until
reference.
they explain themselves, and then I
Fair
believe
enough.
them.
Look, her logic's -1 or something.
Like,
Okay.
I don't mind if it's a cult if they're offering us like at least to start with beds and a chance to just wash a bit. And like you all seem to be okay, but I've still feel like I've got bits of gravel stuck to my face.
They're
I
druids
will
are
argue
different from a
that
cult.
I will argue that my ego is too so like the charm should suggest that it is a joke of like kind of I hope it's he's not objectively be like trying to lighten the mood, but yeah.
No, she didn't take it as as an insult.
No,
You're all led
just
off.
making sure.
You're all led off to rooms that. You're all led off to rooms. They're not exactly 5-star style sort of stuff. They are dirt packed walls, but they're warm. They've got things in them for heating. They've got beds which are clean. Little table.
They have a bed that's big enough for me.
They do indeed.
Ah, these people thought ahead. These people are great. These people are fucking great.
I think Silas will respectfully ask them whether it's safe to use a phone from yours if it's like kind of like guarded from.
I doubt you will get a signal down here. We don't tend to bring.
He tries anyway, and there's like 0 bars. It's like, God damn it.
There's like negative bars in this place. You're so far underground. So you're all left in your own rooms. Anything you want to do before you go to sleep?
Shower. Is that possible?
Yeah, it is indeed. Shower doesn't get very hot, but the water is incredibly fresh.
Well, that's
Gets you
basically. I mean, that's not really an exciting gameplay request, but I have a
It's all
feeling that Sarah will be very, very grateful of a shower and something
I
to
think
eat.
everyone else would be grateful if Sarah got a shower as well.
Yeah,
She was doing most of the physical work, so
that's also true.
I was about to say, I think Chris will take that opportunity too, since that isn't something they used to do that often living on the street, just because of that.
It's like
Maybe
under
even
a hedge, like it's the lifestyle is like better than on the street. It's kind of just should have gone into the forest years ago.
you all have robes given to you as well. They're not. They offer to take your clothes to wash, and you can have the robes while that's being done. But otherwise, they're leaving you to your own devices for the night.
Yeah, I think Silas kind of like finally feels like safe enough to try and like at least try to telepathically link with Shaw and figure out what's going on, which might not work out, but probably will not work out. But
What does it? What would it be like if you're concentrating, trying to connect
it's
with
so
Shaw?
basically I can telepathically like link with anybody who I've met and spoken to in the past. So it could be anybody who's. I assume it's only like on the planet Earth. I don't think it stretches
Yeah, I
quite
don't
far
think
enough to
you-
no.
yeah.
But I'm pretty sure like just Silas assumes that he hasn't gone off to space. Who knows? But I think he'll even try to sort of like get into like a meditative state because he's done a lot of practice of that like in his backstory and just really tries to reach out and in a very non-meditative way say, well, all that happened and are you fine?
You send this out. You're reaching out and sending your thoughts, and for the first time, it's as if the person doesn't exist. There's no, as if it's not
Oh,
someone
boy.
you've met before. There's no, you're sending it out, and there's no address, no way it's been bounced back to you. There's just nothing.
Can I? I mean, if I reach her, she's going to be pissed. But can I try Emma?
You could try, but she would not be reachable at the moment,
Yeah, no,
and
that's
there are reasons for that.
No, I know that, but fair enough. Then he tries to not have a panic attack. Kind of probably failing a little bit more than usual. Is happy that he's got his own private room where people don't see him. Get into a cold sweat and try to have a glass of water, and I think for the first time, and nobody sees this, he looks very, very concerned, like very, very worried about. Because usually there's always somebody who kind of, he's at least got the feeling, no, it's fine. Like somebody's gonna try to have this under control and fix it. But, yeah, not now.
So, anyone else? No?
I think my character's having a long shower and then carefully like making sure and clean all over and kind of like looking at herself new again because like she didn't know, she'd not used the powers much and
Yeah.
didn't even know about one of them until this morning, and the whole journey to her brain was just like buzzing with like, oh, I could do this, could this happen, like are there more powers I don't know about yet, and just like tired of thinking in loops like that.
Yeah.
No, just I think Chris will actually. Greg and the pink one are still with us, right?
Yes, they were. Really? Yes.
They were in the lorry.
Yes,
so
they were.
They were in the lorry, they
I
followed us
forgot
out.
about them. They're not
Um,
in these notes. They're in the other notes. Wonderful. Anyway, sorry, you go.
Since Greg always is saying I'm sorry and trying to be small and seems very sad, I think Chris will actually, when it feels like everyone else is in their room, sneak out, not because they isn't allowed to, but because they don't want anyone else to see it, and go find Greg and actually try to talk with him and try to find out why he's excusing himself all the time.
Okay. All the rooms are fairly close to each other, so you're able to find the room where he's in. You knock at the door. You hear sobbing from the other side. Come in.
And they just open the door like slightly and just peek in and goes, Greg, can I come in?
Yes. And he's sitting on his bed, hunched over, elbows on his knees. I'm sorry.
And Chris will just go in and close the door behind and go sit just in front of him on the floor and look at him. What are you sorry for?
Everything. It's my fault.
How?
He looks at you. Give me an ego roll, please.
This is so sweet. I love it.
And was it just click on non-combat?
Yes.
That's
He looks at you. His eyes are tearing up. I can't tell you. I'm sorry. He lays down in the bed. He's just sobbing. You feel his shoulders. You see his shoulders rise and fall. His breath coming in hiccups. Just leave me alone, please.
And Chris will just like take a deep breath, stand up, and just place the hand on his shoulder and say, "I'm here if you want to talk. I
When you put
know."
the hand on him, he flinches.
And they will just take the hand away, like, go. I'm sorry. I'm here if you want to talk.
Thank you.
I know how it is to be alone and scared. And then they will just leave.
You leave, you hear so like a very short wail come out as if he's getting too much, and then he's sobbing again. The door closes.
And Chris will just go to the room and go to bed.
Anyone else?
I'd like to go out and try and find an authority figure.
The authority figure sent you to your bed.
I'd like to go back to that person who sent me to my bed.
You go out, you find one of the druids you asked to speak to. Do you remember her name?
No,
Yeah, see?
I just got. Can't speak to your boss.
It looks at you. I don't think McDonald's is open yet.
What?
Oh, you mean Elaine? Yeah, sorry. Yeah, yeah, sure, no problem. I'll take you to her.
Thanks.
And you walk through these corridors. Your feet, even your massive, where you usually hear a fair big thump, is softened by the earth underneath, but it doesn't get like dirty onto your feet or your shoes. It doesn't rub off. It's not as if you're making dirt marks going through anything. It takes you through a couple of winding corridors, past some doors, till you get to a room that has a large, like, old wooden table, very thick legs, so almost a foot thick. The actual table part of it. And Elaine is sitting there with a pen in her hand, writing something.
Hello, Elaine.
Power smash. She smiles.
Just call me Kathy. No,
Really?
wait, wrong game.
That's the wrong game.
Just call me Sarah.
Wrong bacon.
It's not, sorry, but it's not mid-morning. Yeah, it's evening. You had to get to the truck, then you were in the truck, the lorry, and then you were driving along. Now it's bedtime, not mid-morning. And this is a little place, what is it? Where did I say it was? Near Rushmere Country Park. So, no. Anyway.
What is her name? Elaine?
Elaine, yes. What can I do for you, Sarah?
Well, I'd just like to know what the plan is, because, I found myself in charge of a bunch of kids and inexperienced mutants, and I I sort of feel a responsibility to make sure that whatever happens next is in their best interest.
You know what's going on at the moment.
I mean, sort of genocide triggered by some medications being fucked up with.
Not quite, but good enough. They are making good on the promises that have been made over many years.
Orchis,
Yes, Orchis, Coven Akaba. Sorry, things I need to.
Kana Akaba.
Coven Akaba.
What's their story?
Originally, they were pawns of Apocalypse. Now they are a human cult who do not like mutants. She closes the book that she was writing in. A lot of you are missing. Some of you are dead. Some of you are being rounded up. And that sort of thing never ends well.
Yeah. It's all a bit fucked up in it.
Yep. I don't believe that Krakoa poisoned those medicines. We have worked with your Excalibur, they call themselves. We have worked with them closely. We have helped them in Otherworld. We are friends with your Captain Britain, wherever she may be at the moment.
Yeah, just like her to be missing when it's all going to shit in it.
Dude, she loses the smile there. No, I think she might be trapped in another dimension. And since the Queen and Prime Minister have said she's persona non grata, she's not really at fault here, is she?
Well, there's me putting my foot in my mouth like I usually do. I apologise. That was probably profoundly unfair. It's just been a hell of a day and night.
I can understand that. As to what's going to happen, in all honesty, I'm not sure. What I think is you take some time, a couple of days, rest here. I've been told you're journeying north.
That was the plan.
We can't accompany you all the way, but there are a couple of miles of tunnels that we can get you through.
All right, cool. Do you know anything about this voice that we've been hearing?
We got a message. I don't know if it's the same voice that you're talking of. But
That sounds old. Always has the answers, but then doesn't ever say much.
no, it doesn't seem like it.
Well, I'm sure we'll meet him at some point. He'll make himself known. Thanks for putting us up like this.
Be
And
careful
giving
of
me
voices.
the time, Elaine. Oh, yeah. No, you don't need to tell me that. I used to be quite the significant drug user. But I've been clean. Been clean for a few years now. I just got clean and sorted myself out and it all went to shit. But that's life, isn't it? That's just what life does to you, isn't it? You know, you get all your shit together, then it kicks you. It kicks you right in the feelings, right when you're at your best. That's just what life does, doesn't it, Elaine?
Stands
That's just
up.
what life is.
And puts a hand on your shoulder and gives you a hug.
Well, this
It's
is
gonna be okay,
unexpected.
Sarah. Get some rest. We can talk in the morning.
I will. Thank you, Elaine. I'll see you in the morning.
See you in the morning. Once you're back in your bed, you're asleep. All of you have some version of this dream. Someone screaming, explosions, a smiling robotic face, the pink and white, whispers. You're not quite sure what they're saying. You make out the word Krakoa, the word death, and then a crown. And after that, nothing.
Like, ominous looking crown, or like kind of like gilded, like
Black.
idealized. Oh,
Black.
okay.
Yeah. No, more like a 2D image rather than king's crown or whatever.
Black crown, you say? No, sorry.
Yeah.
I had to go there, but for Silas's reasons. But yeah, anyway.
Yeah, you'll wake up in the morning.
So do we go somewhere for breakfast or?
You are all retrieved for breakfast. You go to the same room where you spoke with Elaine. Breakfast is laid out. Lots of fruit, cereals, things like that.
But no bacon.
There is no bacon. Only
Is
the-
there alcohol? Because Silas needs. He doesn't care what time of day it is.
You ask them
Probably
for
not.
alcohol and that it's not a hotel. They laugh and walk away.
Silas, others may not say so, but that seemed like a reasonable question to me.
I will say that before he went to breakfast, he tried the telepathic link again. I assumed it just failed again, but he's going to like every morning and evening try it again because he's very desperate. But I just assume until you say otherwise, it'll keep failing. But he's still either like deluded or hopeful enough to hope that it'll something will change. But
Yeah.
And then he just sort of like pokes at his breakfast and isn't particularly. I mean, yeah, like his body is hungry, but his mind is like just miles away. The cereal is getting soggy, and he's probably had like 2 spoons.
So I'm just sat there with everyone. I'm just saying, like, so wild thing is, like, when you're on drugs, is that you never dream, like, you never have dreams. And ever since I
Right.
quit drugs, my dreams have been so pronounced. Like last night, it was weird. Like there was a flying black crown, and there was some voices screaming out some stuff. I can't even begin to describe what I saw.
Right, I remember that as well, and right, machinery and Krakoa and death and this is a cluster of fucks.
Oh yeah, that sounds like the dream I had. You had the same dream?
Yeah, apparently.
I had that word too. What's Krakoa?
You would know what Krakoa is.
Okay.
It's very big on the news recently.
It's like the country that mutants have made.
Yeah,
Okay.
it's just like a colony that. I mean, I think it started off like with the.
It's not a colony.
It's
It's
like
a
a
living mutant island.
yeah. Krakoa
Yeah.
is a living.
I mean,
thing
but
that
legal,
mutants
but
live on.
legally, kind of like in the
Legally,
like,
it's a
at least in
country.
yeah, legally it's a country. But it is like a living island. And also,
Yeah.
I think I think Silas even says like all my stuff is there. God damn.
Oh. So is that where
Yeah.
you live normally?
Yeah.
That's not where I live, and
No,
nor
you had the flat. Yeah.
Pink tailpipes up. I was going to be moving there. Then
Why?
Why not? It's beautiful.
it's a
It's the Pacific
paradise.
Ocean.
Why
Yeah.
would you want to leave the people that you know? Go
Because
live-
the
go
She
people
live
I
looks at you and
do-
cocks her head.
Live on some creature's back with a bunch
What?
of strangers. No thanks.
Wait, creature's back.
Yeah, isn't Krakoa like a living thing?
Yes, but they don't live on its back.
Where do they
what do
live?
they live on then?
It's not a creature like us. It's an island.
Yeah, but it's a person.
No, it's an island.
Well, I'm just saying, like, if a bunch of mutants are going to live on a body part, the back is probably the best case scenario.
Do you all see where I was confused earlier?
Well, you know what? Fuck Krakoa. They're the reason we're in this shit.
Can we agree where on Krakoa you would be fucking it?
You understand
Uh-huh.
common parlance of the word fuck, right? You understand? Do we have to?
Yeah, I'm just rested. I'm sorry.
Point being, we all had the same Krakoa nightmare dream, and that feels significant.
Yeah,
Considering-
definitely.
I
You don't
certainly
know,
hope
though.
it was
Well,
just a
Sarah,
dream
you
because
do
I
know
would like
that
to go
Krakoa
back home.
saved thousands of mutants, thousands and thousands of them, because otherwise they were being murdered and downtrodden completely. You didn't like Krakoa, but you know that Krakoa was good for mutants.
Yeah, okay.
That
that's
is
fair.
unequivocal. You could hate
I
it.
was more trying to
That's
say,
absolutely
like,
fine.
fuck Krakoa is a conversation topic. We've all had the same dream. That feels more significant.
And
was
that
my
bit, the
point.
Krakoa part was a very small part. It was just a whisper.
Yeah.
Mm.
Like, we had the same dream, and, you know, there's somebody out there who's speaking to us in the brain and making portals for us, and so that it feels like a significant thing to happen. This feels like something that maybe someone is trying to send us a message.
Yeah, ever since that first time, like 2 nights ago now, it feels like we've just been led from thing to thing to thing.
I mean, at least somebody has the wheel, which is
That's
Chris,
true.
do
if
you
it's-
have this dream?
what? Sorry,
Chris
Out of
is
character.
not hearing us.
Chris, did you have this dream?
Because of course they did, but I'm just trying to figure out if they would actually disclose that.
I don't know why you wouldn't. Look at Sarah. She's so likable and massive. Just gruffly pointing at you out of nowhere. Talk now, Chris.
I think if you keep pausing, it's like Silas is like a bit out of patience and kind of just like tries to skim by the mind reading to see if Chris is holding it. I mean, yeah, no, it's not consensual, but
You can give us opposed ego rolls then, please.
oh boy, that'll be fun.
Wow, who would have thought just asking one person about a dream they had would start a mind battle?
Not great.
Against what?
Roll ego. Defense.
I roll ego 2, or it's
Ego defense.
ego defense.
That's part of it, though.
Oh, should
Sarah.
I have rolled should I have
we
rolled
don't even know
attack
each
for
other.
it? So attack rather than
Attack,
just
yeah.
Okay, sorry. It's exactly the
Exactly the same.
Okay.
And I mean, I don't roll, do I? It's just against the.
That's just against your defense. Sorry, yes, of course it is. What is your ego defense?
9.
9. Then yes.
Sorry, for the
yeah.
audience, that was 9s all the way down.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
So
So
I
what
think
the
Chris,
Yeah, you go.
we are sitting at a table eating, right?
Mm-hmm.
Mm.
So they will still have the hood up, like looking down, just peeking out under the hood. So when Sarah asks, they're just going to look at her for a bit. Do they register? Do they feel that Silas is reading their mind?
No.
You wouldn't feel it, no. I mean, even if you, I assume you don't feel it, right? Like,
No, you wouldn't.
Oh, you
I
wouldn't.
doubt you would only if you had a high enough ego score. You might be able to, like, if you were especially if you're only getting
So-
surface thoughts.
Chris will just look at Sarah for a moment, and then and then just keep eating.
Okay, well, I like the idea that maybe her thought, surface level thought, or their surface level thought was also just, "Yep," not even up. It's like, "Yep."
Elaine comes to the table as you're all eating. I hope you're all well rested. We are, I think, 3 days would be enough for things to cool down. Then we can head north through our tunnels. We can get about 50 miles out of it, and you will not be seen anywhere there.
That's really good of you, Elaine. Thank you. And thanks for this lovely breakfast and putting us up like this.
More than welcome. We have some facilities if you want to, because you, Sarah, if you want to do some training. If you want to just rest, then please feel free to rest. We have
I
a
think
sun
I need to do some
garden.
experiments. I need to do some experiments. If I can do that, like somewhere out of the way.
Of course.
Okay.
Charles, you pause to one of the druids. When she's ready, please show Lauren to the gym.
Thank you very much.
They have a gym. Wow, this commune is something. Not in character. That was.
I mean, it's probably not like a 24-hour rent-a-gym kind of deal. It's probably just a space with
Yes.
stuff to hang
Yeah.
off and stuff to swing from and whatever else.
I say in character. I don't suppose, and I know I'm asking a lot here, but do you have a swimming pool?
We have a lake.
Even better. I love a good swim. It's a good low impact exercise. It's low impact on myself, but also there'll be low impact when it comes to me not using a gym because I have destroyed gyms by mistake many times. So, if you excuse me, I'm going to go off and do my training. She goes off and goes for a swim.
Now I just picture kind of just we're like doing like dumbbell exercises, and like just the entire
Yeah.
like all the like just like everything flying through the ceiling the moment you try to raise it.
Just thrown it up to catch it. Oh fuck, it's not coming back.
Yep.
So, what do you all want to do? What we'll say is we'll take these 3 days, we can montage them however you want.
I think when
Yeah, no, go on. Sorry.
when the rest after the breakfast, when the rest like go their ways, Chris will go to Elaine, and their demeanor is quite different than they have been up until now. They have been closed up, just in this dark cloth and not looking much around, keeping back all to themselves. And now when they woke up to Elaine, they will have more like it what's it called, a jitter
Yeah.
over them a bit, like
So nervous kind of
Yeah.
twitching, yeah.
and like the hood not all the way down, a bit more up, but still looking down, and maybe just some kind of a smile that no one probably really have seen on them before. And they'll just ask, like, can anyone help with our powers? I don't really know much about it.
She smiles. I can certainly try. I'm not an expert, but I do know something of supernatural, or the extra natural in your case. How can I help?
And while they talk, Chris is just going shift between looking down and looking up, but without raising their head, so their eyes will just go like from there and up and a bit down again, and not really know where they're supposed to place their eyes.
Just smiles at you and doesn't try to force eye contact or anything.
And I think Chris will tell her their story. Like, my body just changed the first time when I get really emotional, like really scared. my body just changes randomly. I have no control over it yet. The only thing I really have control over is this, and she'll like take up her hands and like shift between some different tools and like this little crooked smile and just go magic fingers.
Very useful, I would think. Does this only happen when you are scared? Do you know what's going through your mind when it happens? Well, let's try it a different way. How do you do it with your fingers?
And Chris will like feel after it and like it's when I need it. So it just
When you need it. And
I-
what changes when you when it's involuntary? What happens?
it's my body, and they will like look down and like motion towards whatever visible gender what's it called, parts that are visible, like, and just go my hair, and like it's just change.
Is this something you want to change, or what? It seems to me, from what I can see and what I can tell, is that your body has is very manipulable. Now, whether that comes to gender, or maybe to how you look, or like with your hands, using tools, there are many heroes in the world that have such things. You know, Mr. Fantastic, something like that. There are many examples of this. So maybe think about someone that you think their powers might be like, and think about how they use them. Or tell me what you want to do, and maybe I can help you formulate the thought for it.
And would it make sense if they, while they talk to Elaine and like she explains all this and says try to feel about this or find this out, and their body actually changes just because they like relax and think about it, so they're like they have normally this middle length hair, just like a long boy's or a short girl hair that they always like run their finger through. And it will probably shrink a bit to a more boy-like haircut, and the face will get more square and
So more masculine.
like more masculine, like just slowly change while they talk with Elaine.
Does Chris's voice change as well with these, or is it just the external appearance?
I think, but slightly. I think they don't have that wider range in their voice, so that will be quite gender neutral all the way, but maybe a bit deeper and a bit high pitched, whatever way they swing.
So how can I help you?
I just want to know what I can do with it. I want to know what I am. And in this moment, they're thinking more of their powers than their person. But they want their powers to be part of them, and they don't feel connected with their powers right now. So in that moment, what they're saying is, I want to know my powers. I want to know who I am with my powers. But deep down, they're probably
Chris, you're a mutant.
Channeling this.
You're young. You need to experiment with your powers. They might be useful, they might not be. But whatever they are, they're part of you. There's nothing wrong with being a mutant. There's nothing wrong with having a power or having just looking somehow different or sounding different. Whether the power is extremely helpful or it's like unplugging a bath, who knows? You're you. You experiment with who you are just like everyone else does. You'll know what's right when you're ready. I think you've got good friends here who support you. And while you're here, I'll help you in any way I can. But I can't tell you what you are. You need to tell me.
And during this conversation, Chris have started to look more and more into her eyes. And then like their head goes up too, and they look squarely in the eyes and just thank you. And then just go to their room and I think sit on the bed and just kind of meditate, or at least just
Think.
taking in this whole conversation and just relaxing and trying to make sense of anything.
No problem. Then, since I was about to say Kathy. No, Sarah.
Are we
what are you
still
doing?
doing montaging?
Yes.
Well, for the next 3 days, is it?
Yeah.
So for the next 3 days, Kathy does a number of things. Most of that is lying in the lake, swimming and crying when she thinks nobody's looking. So to be honest, that's most of the days. I'd say 2 out of the 3 days is her spread out just in the lake, floating on her back, just crying. Occasionally, she will leave the lake to go talk to Elaine to talk some things through, and occasionally she will leave the lake and talk to other people in the group, try to be a source of strength, and be like, "Yeah, we'll be all right. Don't worry about it." But then she will always go back to the lake and cry alone, lying, floating in the lake, and that's her 3 days.
The lake has this kind of bioluminescence, and it has fish that swim in it. And when you are crying, more fish seem to come near you. And the light kind of dims as if it's reacting to your emotions. Every so often you'll catch a kind of, I keep saying kind of now, it seems kind of when it does, a scent that calms you. And it's, like when you have a cry and you feel better afterwards. Every time you do that in the lake, you feel better afterwards. You don't feel high or anything. It's not as if you're being drugged, but there's just something very calming about it.
So at the end of it, she's just thinking to herself, "You know what? That was a good bunch of emotional catharsis, Sarah. You're really taking Dr. Kleiner's lessons from therapy and putting them into action. Good for you."
One of the fish.
Because
pats you on the shoulder.
this bacon has faced her demons and is practicing good mental health and self-care. This is the only bacon who has ever done this.
That's not true. There's another bacon that's doing it. Just the self-care is fairly harmful to others.
True.
That is a bacon to come. Yeah. Lauren, what are you doing in the gym? How are you exploring your powers?
I've got this list of ideas in my head of stuff I wanted to try out when eventually we stopped. So to start with, I had this idea about trying to walk or run with extended limbs, and can that help? Can it make things faster? Turns out the answer is yes. It makes things a lot faster.
So what does it look like when you first attempt it?
Oh, I fall over. I absolutely fall over the first few times because the center of gravity is wrong, the height is wrong. I'm twice as high, and my steps are twice as long, but it means I can cover twice the ground in the same physical effort.
Mhm.
So although I'm not very strong, I'm just suddenly moving at like double the speed, just walking around and climbing. And that's quite exciting when I get the hang of that. The only thing is I have to remember like how it's like putting on a pair of what are the damn
Like
things
roller
called?
skates?
Ice skates or roller
Yeah.
Ice
skates.
skates,
You've
yeah.
got to move differently when you've got them on. Then I'm like, okay, I did not even know about this teleport thing until yesterday morning, and I'm trying to like recreate in my head what I felt when that started happening, and like I was just so angry and pissed off, and I wanted to be in a different place than where I was, and I could see it, and I could imagine being there. So I start using that method of like willing myself to be in this other space to bounce around the room, literally. Um, and that seems to work in a fairly controllable way as long as I know where it is I'm going, and I can, if I can see it, that helps. But I can get from one place to another pretty accurately. Then I experimented briefly with like trying to like arrive in midair and fall on a deliberate spot, and that was more painful than I expected. But I'm harder to hurt than I realized because like I'm occasionally dropping like 1 or 2 meters, and it's not like I'm not breaking anything. Um, and then there's a couple of other things I wanted to try. At one point, I wanted to just try teleporting around really fast to see if that would work.
Mhm.
And I can do, but only like for a short amount of time, like 10 to 12 seconds. After that, I just can't do it anymore until I rest a bit. It like tires out a part of my brain that I didn't really feel before. But when it's tired, it's like it's pulled out something important, and you can't. It just doesn't work. And the last thing I wanted to try is seeing how far I could teleport in one go. And experiment as much as I can in the space that we've got. And having done that a bit and sort of feeling like I'm reaching a limit, I try moving from one room to another. And that still works, but only for rooms I've been in.
Mhm.
And then I try to like go from one end of the area that we're using of the sort of caverns to another part, and that seems to work as well. So I haven't, if there's a limit, I haven't found it yet.
Okay. So your 3 days are filled with exercise and exhaustion. You
Yeah.
don't dream at night when you go to sleep. Sometimes you have an audience of a couple of the younger druids watching as you do it. Maybe they set up some obstacles for you using their magic.
And there was another thing I tried where I tried to teleport whilst holding someone's hand or like physically holding onto them, and all that happened is I left and they stayed there. So I can't take
one of
anyone
them
with me.
gets his wrist fairly badly sprained as you teleport
no.
away, and it somehow pulls it, because you're not used to doing it yet. But gets healed up very quickly. Not too bad there. By the end of the 3 days, you feel much more confident in your abilities. You know you probably don't know everything yet, but you have a better idea of what you can do if you get into trouble again.
It's just like in the middle of all this terrible stuff, finding out I've got a power I didn't know about and this is actually useful all this time. And like for years, she's just told herself, "Oh, you're stretchy. What flipping use is that?" Like, "Oh, we need someone who can reach the top shelf." That's the only place where that superhero is
Start a
worthwhile.
yoga class.
Yeah.
It's,
So like suddenly realizing that, oh, there is actually something useful I could be doing here. Like it's not, I'm not strong like Sarah, but I can do something. So it's kind of yeah, it's been an emotional journey, but she's feeling positive.
very cool. Silas, for
Right.
you, when you were saying you're trying to get in contact with
With
Sebastian.
so like, yeah, I mean, but in the daytime, so he will kind of like ask the druids whether it's safe to astral project around here, or whether, I mean, he explains that like, the story about the witch who was kind of like tracking them down to the flat, and whether like if is it safe to astral project right now, or would there be people who could watch or kind of like come across me and find us? I don't want to risk it.
There are definitely people who could watch and come across, whether they're looking in this direction or not. Can't tell. We're giving you these couple of days, get things calmed down. maybe there won't be as hot outside after that. But one thing as well that you notice, though, Silas, is you're not able to contact anyone that was on Krakoa.
Okay. Really
It's
trying.
as if they're not on Earth anymore.
And here's like 3 days of just mounting dread and no alcohol in the entire commune, and he's just getting like more and more.
Is there anyone else you
oh
would
my God.
contact that is that wasn't on Krakoa? That you know, is there anyone else you would want to get in contact with to talk about or to ask questions of?
I'm trying to think, just also in terms of like the. I mean, you're the one, kind of like the narrator here. So I mean, he's got some mutant contacts. So like, would there be somebody who he knows, who he might have like some idea wasn't on Krakoa?
Oh yeah, you would do. You would definitely know people that weren't on Krakoa. Probably still in the US, but maybe not.
Oh, okay, so here's a question. If anybody, I mean, like Silas would probably know other employees like of Shaw Industries who are kind of maybe off island, like doing off island work, but who are mutants,
Mm-hmm.
and kind of just ask what's happening at the Industries HQ. Like, is the boss home? What's happening?
Who do you contact? What's their name?
Oh God, I don't know.
Put you on the spot. Yeah.
Oh shoot. Let's say somebody named
Geraldine.
yeah, that's a good one. Sorry, I'm all
That's all right.
like coming up with characters is easy, but like names for some reason.
But
Sorry,
who is she then? What's? How do you know her? Who is she? Are you friendly? Is it?
I think everything at the Industries is pretty professional, but so it's not unfriendly, but it's also not like kind of oh we're best friends. I mean they might have had like kind of after work drinks before and kind of like chats. Maybe she's actually I mean let's break the stereotype, and then she's like an engineer, kind of like one of the engineers working on like the tech that's being created.
Mm-hmm. Silas. Oh fuck! I thought I was the only one left.
I mean, same. What's happened?
Shaw's
I mean,
abandoned
besides,
us.
I know what's happened. I know globally what's happened.
Shaw's
But what's
abandoned
happened?
us. He's not a mutant anymore.
Oh, come off it! Of course he.
He's joined Orchis. You're the
Well, that's not
first
the worst
person to
thing he's
get in
ever-
contact with.
I can think of worse people, but
You're the first person to get in contact with me, telepathically or otherwise. I'm alone here. They closed
is
down.
he?
Yeah,
Well, wait, you're alone in the building?
they closed down the factory. I managed to hide. They rounded up everyone else. Oh no, we lost Lavina.
She's writing in chat that she'll be right back.
She was with Orchis all along. You treasonous hound.
If our Silas meditating while we're here, the 3 days we're here.
I mean, pretty much,
talking
yeah,
to-
yeah.
But first
Yeah.
talking to this Geraldine.
Yeah.
Because if Chris sees that, they will probably at some point around eating time or something like try to ask Silas about it. Probably very awkward. I don't think Chris is sure where they have Silas.
We'll
Fair enough,
get
yeah.
to that after this, but let him finish the conversation and then
Yeah,
we
yeah.
can come back to that.
Sorry.
No, don't be sorry, sorry.
I think even like that doesn't rattle him at all. Which I mean, like he knows who he's working for. He's like just yeah, and he bankrolled the Sentinels. Like shocker. I did. It's a
But they've
There's a
rounded
plan.
everyone else up. I'm scared, Alice.
I mean,
Where are you?
I'm not lying when I say I have no idea. I mean, I'm somewhere in the vicinity of Britain, and I've never left London. I might as well be on Mars. I've got no. I don't know. It's a forest north of London, and that's all I can really figure out, honestly.
For a second, you get a kind of white noise in your brain.
Mhm.
They're here. They're here, Silas. They're here. And then it goes silent.
Just at that moment, I'd like to come up to Silas and just say, so,
You're a
Silas,
dick.
I've noticed that you've been jonesing a bit about looking for a drink, and well, I just got some literature I'd like to show you from my program. I'm not saying you have a
Jesus
problem.
saves.
I'm just saying, and this is non-religious, because I mean, apparently, when the 12 steps, like when it became apparent that like the Earth was full of like mutants and literal deities and magic, they had to rewrite the 12 steps pretty consistent, a hell of a lot, to be honest. But here's the updated version. And see that I've crossed out the part
Only
of the
11
past that
steps
said God, and I put Steve Rogers. That was who I chose to ask for the power to overcome my demons. But you could just fill in whatever name you like. It doesn't really matter. It doesn't. It's just. Anyway, I'll leave these with you.
I think Silas at that point says, honestly, I think he'd laugh if I asked. No, I think he said. I think he says the person I'm thinking of would laugh if I tried to tell him I was quitting. But
some are gonna.
also, I think he points at like the whatever step is. You have to admit that there's a problem. Like is it step one? Like I'm not sure, like in real life, but like the first step is admitting there's a
The
problem.
first step is we admitted we were powerless over alcohol, that our lives had become unmanageable. That's the first step.
My life was very manageable. Like it's this the alcohol is not the problem. But and he softens a bit.
You know
And
what?
he's
I
just
think,
like-
considering the
he's-
circumstances, that is true. The alcohol may not have been the root of the reasons why you find yourself here with us. That
No,
may be
but-
true.
No, that'd be your
He-
genetics.
he does soften a bit and kind of smiles a bit, like kind of like Riley at this flyer, which he will never use because he's never going to stop drinking, and it's not the type to. But he does very gently take it from her hand and kind of like looks at her and says,
You're lucky it wasn't a condom. That's all I'm saying.
"True, no," but he says, "Look, I know I'm a right bastard, and I don't think that'll change anytime soon. But for the time being, I promise to be a lesser or more useful bastard while we're shuffling northward vaguely." And he shakes his extends his hand for a shake, I guess, sort of.
Sarah grabs it and very gently, the most gently that she's ever done a handshake, shakes his hand.
Silas's hand crumpled.
Yeah, no, I think it's still kind of like, okay, I appreciate that you're trying, but that's just, yeah.
Sorry, Chris, you were saying you wanted to speak to Silas?
I gotta go. I've got to go to the lake for a second. Excuse me.
More crying.
She runs off. She leaves.
And he folds like the
lake rises
paper
now.
and puts it like into his, yeah.
So, Chris, you were saying you wanted to
Yeah.
speak with Silas about Silas?
Probably like early the second day, maybe after they talk to Lane. Again, if they spot Silas meditating. And after that, just catches him alone somewhere and just Silas.
Mm-hmm.
Can you teach me how to meditate?
I can try. It took me a few workshops, so I'm not sure whether it'll go very far, but yeah, I suppose. I mean, I've got nothing else on. And in-game terms, like, is there a way for him to try to basically teach her, like, to, I guess, like breath control and kind of like try to relax and like focus, inner focus, that kind
I
of
think
thing?
you could do that. I don't think that they would need anything mechanics wise for that. It's just taking the time to try and do so.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I think you'll take a couple of hours, like in each of the days, to do that.
Yeah. The breathing, this finding peace or easiness in this stress. So just to wind down.
Wind down, yeah. Silas, Chris, you can actually both take a point of karma. Silas for helping Chris with this, and Chris for going to speak to Greg.
Oh, but does he get karma for doing the right thing? That's the question.
No, I can give karma for whatever I
Fair
please.
Enough. Okay.
And since you're being nice here, I'm giving you 1 karma.
Thank you.
And I think otherwise, over these days, Chris will like continue keeping an eye on Greg and trying to show him that I'm here if you need to, and like I don't hate you. I have seen trouble too, but not pushing it or anything, just letting him know that I'm here when you're ready or something like that. Every time they see Elaine, their demeanor will change.
Okay.
Become very much nervous, not like bubbly outwards, but not this hooded, closed in person.
More open.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But more nervous too, more visibly nervous, whereas normally it just shuts down.
Whenever she sees you, she's very calm and welcome. She's always speaking to you, smiling, tries to help you come out of that nervousness a little bit.
And I think over these 3 days, they will keep a lot to themselves in the room, trying to meditate, find this peace, talking to Elaine, and slowly they will feel more relaxed. And you will probably start to see that their appearance will change just slightly from time to time when you see them. Sometimes shorter hair, sometimes a bit longer hair, because that's what Chris is doing in their room, just trying to meditate, trying to control their morphing.
And how far does that go? What's the what is the end result of this? How far does it go? What do you reach any sort of milestone here, or is it just the small changes and getting used to them?
Right now, I think it's just having this basic control over their powers, so they don't spontaneously change, and he actually realizes what their power is, and trying to make that a part of themselves instead of that just being something weird they can do. It's actually something they are and can use. So experimenting with it and probably as they become more and more self-confident and at ease with it, you will see them probably look up more and own the gender for the day, if that makes sense.
Yeah. Yeah, cool. None of you see Greg all that much. He doesn't come out all that often. Pinktail often goes to watch you train, Lorden, but she bounces about and asks questions of Silas, asks questions of Chris. Tries to see if Sarah will throw her in the air and stuff like that.
Can I try and get Greg to come swimming?
You can ask him, yeah.
Greg, see, you've been pretty miserable these last few days. You want to come to the lake with me?
No, thank you.
You sure? They got glowing fish. I make you feel
Pinktail
happy.
comes up. Glowing fish, can I come swimming?
I'm sorry, who was that?
Pinktail.
Of course, Pigtail, you can come. You're great. You sure you want to join us? Go look at some weird fish?
No, thank you. I'm sorry.
Sarah thinks in the brain. I've seen in movies where like adult, like parental figures push the kids out of their comfort zone.
Literally pushing through a wall, out the comfort zone.
I asked, Greg, could you swim?
No.
So Sarah thinks in her head, well, that seals it then. I can't just grab him and throw him into the lake. That might be good parenting. That might be good parenting if he could swim, but he can't swim, so don't do it. So Sarah just says, all right, Greg, we'll see you later then. Me and Pinktail go off and swim.
You go off, swim, have your wee cry when Pinktail's not there. The 3 days pass. Elaine gathers you all together in the morning of the 4th day. I've been told that they want to get you to the Isle of Skye. There's something there, some way of escaping. It's going to be dangerous. We can get you 50 miles going through our tunnels, but it's a long, long way. The Givish looks at you, Sarah. Given your size, cars will not always be an option. There are roaming troops of sentinels and others hunting down mutants. It is not pleasant at the moment for your kind. I'm sorry to say that a lot of you are now considered missing, not heard of. There are reports of deaths of all of the new X-Men were murdered. All the ones elected on that night, and I am so sorry to tell you that. They're dead. There's no word from Mars, sorry. And I can't begin to understand how painful this is for you all. We will do our best to cover your tracks, to confound them, to confront them where we can. And if you ever need help with anything else, we will do so. If we can get Captain Britain back, we will do so. We will not let this state of affairs stand.
Thank you.
All right.
I wish I could do more. There's backpacks lined up for each of you. These have got food. There's some money in it when you get out. There's some spare clothes. Nothing fancy. There's
If
maps.
one day roles are reversed and there's some kind of druid hunting apocalypse, we'll help you just as you've helped us.
Thank you.
No, seriously,
never
though,
need-
thank
never
you so
need to
much.
thank me.
We're already
You
setting
never
up a
need to
sequel.
thank me, ever.
I'm not sure I'm looking forward to the druid hunting apocalypse, but I
Well,
think I
hopefully,
understand
you
what
don't
mean.
want a druid apocalypse. You don't want one.
Nobody
You
wants
don't want a mutant apocalypse either, but you know these things seem to happen.
I mean, think of the difference to the world it would make if there were no druids. I mean, it's just unthinkable.
Well, yeah, right. 'Cause
I,
like,
I,
they
th-
may
I think
invest
I,
in-
I think Silas gives her like an approving look of like, yeah, finally somebody else is saying the
Oh,
inappropriate
God.
thing.
This has gone completely over Sarah's head, who's just like, well, I mean, yeah, I mean, they make the best food in Glastonbury. Am I right? You go to Shangri-La Fields, you always find the druids there with the best vegan food.
No one else is going to get that mistletoe down.
Okay,
Elaine
anyway.
is seriously considering just turning you all over to Orchis now. That's You'll get your stuff. Elaine sends you off with Michael. That was the one that stopped the car, the lorry. You head off.
And just before, when the others go, Chris will be the last. Stay a bit back, and I think this day be very clearly masculine,
Mm-hmm.
and just go to Elaine and say like, "Thank you,"
No, thank
and,
you.
and
Been
like,
pleasure having you here.
"Can
And
I
can
see
I-
you again?
Okay.
Like, can we come back? Like, but
I sincerely hope so. You'll always have a friend with the druids.
When we get outside, Sarah just turns around to Chris and says, hey, Chris, do something with your hair.
You're not outside, you're in tunnels, but aye. Get away from you, grab my ticket.
Okay,
Your hair's
wherever
now all
we are.
spiked and
and if Silas had been reading Chris's mind at that moment, when Elaine said, "You always have a friend in the druids," you just have heard that like ironic friend zoned kind of thing, like pop up.
Womp womp. No, I think Silas is actually. I mean, and nobody sees it because we were saying we're walking like in one line, but so he remembers that.
it's large enough that you can walk beside each other. That's not
Fair enough. But he, because he remembers like the telepathic conversation that he just had with Geraldine, and kind of that she was talking about Shaw in the present tense, and that yes, he betrayed us, but like no word of like him getting killed. So like for the first time, everybody noticed that Silas is kind of like more relaxed and is smiling. And like just if there was a speech bubble, it's kind of like then he is alive. ... And then kind of like keeps walking.
Talk about toxic relationships, man.
Oh yeah,
Completely.
absolutely.
Blah, 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 but I was gonna say,
It's the
Sarah,
Hellfire Club special.
Sarah, you are out front. Take it with Michael. How long would it take you
Is
to
Michael?
walk? Michael is the druid that's leading you.
Right, okay.
Right. As you move away from the place where you were all living, it becomes a lot more wild. The walls are no longer smoothly packed. The dirt is more fresh and moist, and you see a lot more insects and worms and whatever crawling through. At some point, you see a fox seem to burrow its way out, and then head back into the run away from you. How long would it take you to walk? 50 miles? Do we think?
Couple of days at least.
I've got a speed.
I mean,
Oh
you
yes,
go with the
speed-
slowest
yeah.
one.
Oh, we can
I've
use
got
the.
a speed of 6.
I mean, you go with the lowest, the slowest speed.
I've got a climbing speed of 3.
No, not your slowest, the slowest in the group. Otherwise, you're just running off and leaving them there. Or you just.
I mean,
start
if you want
timing
someone
the
to run
next
off and
time
leave
walking.
everyone,
Sarah just flies down and turns that fuck you all. I'm off.
and then meets me at the end.
No, I wouldn't do that. I wouldn't do
I mean,
that.
you
But I
could.
will
You
say
could.
I have enduring constitution, which means that my character can function for up to 48 hours without sleep.
I'm pretty
I
sure the
would
rest of us can, which is like that'll be an issue.
You can stand guard while the rest are sleeping. On occasion, you hear strange calls of animals in the night. the end of those 2-3 days, whatever it's a really kind of forced march. You're not everything's monotonous going by, but you're all now that you know you've got a destination. You're in a little bit more of a hurry.
Sounds like Milton Keynes to me.
A terrible place.
It's all lies and
It
hemorrhoids.
truly is. I mean, the
It's
town.
a desolate
people where
place.
people live
Nobody
is
should
all right.
step foot.
I'm talking specifically about the bus station of Milton Keynes.
Oh God, no.
A dreadful place. No one should ever find themselves. The town is lovely.
Yeah, but because it's so
If there's any
manufactured,
people
it's-
from Milton Keynes watching,
nobody's watching this. Don't be silly. There's no one watching. Anyway,
I'm not trying to like appease the citizens of Milton Keynes here. I'm just saying, genuinely, the town's all right.
The town is all right. I think with Mountain Keys, what it is because it was so manufactured, but
Yeah.
it came across as so odd to people that it got a bad rep from it.
Yeah, that's going to sound strange to like any Americans who happen to be watching. The idea that a town is too new, that it's suspect.
It's like SimCity if it was real.
yeah.
Village
Just
or
to
a
try and
town
give everyone context.
hasn't got 1,000 years of history. We don't take it seriously.
Yes, fuck you. You're not a city. Don't
Yeah,
tell lies.
fuck
Keep
you,
that
Milton
mask
Keynes.
off.
You were built in the 70s to address a lack
just a-
of social housing.
A very big IKEA with notions.
Yeah. Well, now the
Right,
base
sorry.
of Milton Keynes, so IKEA's taken over. Anywho, I think we're playing a game here, people. This is serious.
Yep.
Fuck.
Yeah,
no
fuck
idea.
Milton Keynes.
Fuck Milton Keynes.
It's very dark. We need moments like this.
Exactly. Although I think he's a ruining the mood for my next bit. But as you exit, I've actually got a Google Maps for the thing, so I'll get about 50 miles and I'll sort that for you about where you are. Greg has been crying most of the way. Pinktail holding his hand. And when you reach the end of the tunnels, when you come out into the daylight, you are in a forest again.
Near a
Greg's
road, or
bubbling.
just like forest for miles.
You can only see forest for miles at the moment.
Ugh.
But
I'm
he's
starting to get a
crying.
weird vibe about Greg. Like, I spoke to him that first night and spoke to him in the car before we moved into the truck. And the fact that he's still apologising, it's just making my situational awareness a little bit twitchy.
You hear a massive sob. Pinktail, you see he is patting him in the back. And he looks at her. I'm sorry. And something comes out the folds of his skin and bites
Oh,
down on Pinktail.
Mm.
You suddenly
I-
all see hundreds of like 50 centimeter, half meter long insects, chitinous scales, spikes coming out of this form. He doesn't seem to be getting any smaller. He's, I'm sorry. And hundreds of these things storm out. And we will see you fight them in 2 weeks.
No, I want to fight them now, though. I'm ready to fight. I want to punch.
I know, but you got all your cathartic shit. We can do the punching and the fighting. with
Really
big
should have
CDs.
read his mind like from like episode 1.
I should have had that conversation with you on the way.
Yeah,
Yeah,
but nobody thought to. So,
egg on my face. Like, I
Well,
think
we'll just
I
punch
think
loads of
after
bugs.
this, Silas will have learned the lesson of like just skipping like the just mind reading everybody. Like,
Silas
do you
now
think
doesn't trust anyone.
well, trust one person, but
Oh,
falsely, but like
Yeah.
he really shouldn't. But more kind of like just getting. So, are you full of centipedes? Are you full of centipedes? Yes. No. Good.
Have we checked for centipedes?
Have we
Yes.
checked? Centipedes? Yes. Have we checked for any other sort of invertebrates? Let's just, make sure we've got them all covered here. No.
I'd like to
So-
put in my first action for next time should be seismic smash.
Yeah, just kill all your
Now, haven't
punch
people
the
leveled
pro-
up at this
yeah.
point? Aren't people a bit tougher than last time?
no.
But
I
yeah,
think
can
Lauren has that as well.
Is that the AOE that can also hurt us? Because
Yes.
I'd rather you wouldn't.
The hunt,
because-
everything.
The one that nearly killed us all last time.
If I do one ground shaking stomp, I might kill all these bugs. I might kill you too.
Could we
But-
like have a round to move out of the way? Would that be?
All right,
Better.
fine.
Oh, please understand that I have taken Sarah into account when making the mobs for this encounter.
Fair dues. I'm ready.
Oh, I hope so.
I can levitate.
No,
No, I think he's learned his lesson from the last time that Sarah went to stomp something. It's like, okay, I'm not going to be on the ground that collapses in on itself. Which
Lauren can teleport away, and they all
I mean,
just leave Chris there.
I think if I did a combination of like long leg running and teleporting, I could probably be at the other end of the country in about half an hour.
also true.
I have actually worked it out as well.
I love that.
Anyway, that was well thought out. That was episode
Yep,
3.
that was very good.
That was fun. Thanks for doing it.
Yeah, I hope you all enjoyed yourself. Thought I'd give you a little bit of cam before everything goes to shit again. Just to be nice to me.
Yes, it does. Yeah.
So it always feels that much better when you get put up before you get torn down. So I'm Mark. I am one of the GMs here at Tales of Myth and Mayhem. If you're watching this on YouTube, like, subscribe, all that stuff. Come follow us on Twitch. If you've got a Prime sub, give us your Prime sub because then we get money and it's nice. That's about it. So we'll say goodbye to everyone. We are back here, not this Saturday. We are back next Tuesday with Shattered Footsteps or Die. I just break my pen. Or Die actual play. So then we will say goodbye in reverse order from how we said hello. And Calder, how was your night?
Fantastic. I think that I love. I love role playing, like kind of like role play heavy sessions a lot because you get to like learn more about characters and kind of like what they've been thinking, feeling insecure about, kind of like working through it. And that's I think that if like Silas had known about the glowing fish, he would have gone to the lake, but he was a bit busy, and he's now jealous of. Like I think like on the way as they were walking, kind of like Sarah brings up the like glowing fish, and he's like, "God damn it, could have had a nice time out." But I just had a really good time. And is it next the Tuesday after next yet?
Yes.
Yeah. Is it 2 weeks?
2 weeks.
No, I was trying to be clever by like the Critical Role thing. Like, is it Tuesday? But next Tuesday is not my Tuesday. So that just didn't go anywhere.
Sorry.
Wow. Smooth.
Back. Levita. I'm not calling you Chris this time. Or Cat. Get your names right.
All the names.
All the names, yeah.
It's because we've got 2 above each head.
Sorry, we call my kids the dog's name. It's wonderful. Anyway.
They love that. I'm sure. Thank you. That was fun. I might finally get to be useful in a fight.
I'm sure you will be. Kat, how was your evening?
It was fun. Yeah. Always fun to play with you.
Thank you very much. And with you. You said you wanted to plug?
Yeah, it's North Foundry. Very nice dice and a lot of Pride merch and Pride dice. Really, we like North Foundry.
If you use Dog Friday, use the code LOLLY. That's from our friends over at Adventures Lollygagging, and you get a discount. So go plug that too.
Cool.
And Michelle.
Bye.
You don't say anything? No, fine, fuck you.
Wait, is this goodbyes?
Yeah. Did you enjoy your evening?
I did, yeah, it was great.
Yeah, funny.
Goodbye. Sorry. Yeah, it was good. I had fun. I very thank you for giving Sarah the chance to crumble in a lake of despair.
Needed it.
Yeah.
She needed a good cry.
Salty bacon. See, we're getting great things here. Salty bacon. Well, there was another one above. What was it?
Well, it was a lake, so it's not necessarily a saltwater lake. It could be a number of any kind of magical lake.
Smoky bacon as well. Could be a magical lake. Maybe it was magical. Maybe it wasn't. I'm very
Well,
impressed.
they were
with the
blowing
guess.
happy fish. Like, it seemed pretty magical.
It might very well have been. We will find out at some point, I'm sure.
Or maybe the fish were magical, but the lake was completely.
Well, since
banal.
Marvel
It was
owns,
silly.
since Disney owns Marvel now, the fish
Next
were
session,
actually
we're just
having
going
a
to
whole
ignore the
fucking
big
thing.
bugs and work out this lake situation because I
Yeah.
think this is the lake is the
Yeah.
root of this whole thing.
Fuck it, back to the lake, 50 miles on foot. Yeah, anyway, so we are Tales of Myth and Mayhem. We like to play games and have fun. Like, follow, subscribe, blah, 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 and have a good evening. We will see you soon. Goodbye.
Bye.
Goodbye.
Time to write.